Number 1. Japan's hidden truths you won't believe. Japan is often known as the land of the rising sun, but not many people understand that the first light of dawn on Earth is not here. In fact, the first light of day appears in Kiribati, a country located in the middle of the Pacific Ocean and set in the world's earliest time zone. Since ancient times, the Japanese have recognized that their land is located on the eastern edge of Asia, where the sun rises earlier than neighboring countries, so they took the names Nihon and Nippon, meaning origin of the sun. This name was formalized in the 7th century when Japan gradually built its own identity and separated itself from Chinese cultural influence. Japan is an archipelago of nearly 3,000 kilometers long, consisting of more than 6,800 islands with an area of about 380,000 square kilometers, equivalent to the U.S. state of California. Although the majority of the population lives on the 4 main islands of Honshu, Hokkaido, Kyushu, and Shikoku, the smaller islands still play an important role in terms of ecosystems and security. Many of these islands are also home to globally rare species. Because of its location in the Pacific Ring of Fire, Japan experiences around 1,500 earthquakes each year. The 2011 Tohoku disaster, which measured over 9 on the Richter scale, created a 40-meter-high tsunami and caused an accident at the Fukushima nuclear power plant. More than 20,000 people died, and economic damage exceeded $360 billion. After this incident, the country had to upgrade its entire warning system and test tsunami forecasting technology significantly faster than before. Today, Japan has a population of around 125 million, ranking 11th in the world. The Tokyo area alone has over 41 million residents, making it the largest megacity on the planet. However, the population is aging rapidly, with nearly 30% of the population over 65 and the birth rate continuing to decline. According to the Japan Pet Food Association, there are about 20 million domestic cats and dogs, outnumbering the number of children under 15, which is only about 17 million. Many new services are even designed specifically for pet owners, reflecting how society is adapting to this reality. It is interesting that a country called the Land of the Rising Sun is not the first to see the sunrise. If you are surprised, leave a comment number 1. Number 2. Japanese women are challenging inequality. In a modern society that still maintains many rigid rules, Japanese women face barriers that are almost invisible but powerful enough to shape their entire lives. One of the most severe challenges is called matahara, or maternity harassment. Although laws protect pregnant women, the reality is that many companies still view having children as a sign of lack of dedication. Many women are forced to quit their jobs, have their salaries reduced, or are even isolated by their female colleagues because they have to take on more work. The gender pay gap is also a glass ceiling that is difficult to break. Japanese women working full-time earn only about 75% of what men earn, and in some provinces it is even lower. The cause comes from a career system that gives men a clear path to promotion, while women are pushed into repetitive administrative positions. It was not until 2024 that the Tokyo District Court officially acknowledged this as a form of indirect discrimination that has lasted for decades. The pressure comes not only from work, but also from their own homes. Japanese society still implicitly expects women to take care of children, cook, clean, and take care of both sets of parents. Even when both spouses work full-time, women still shoulder most of the housework, while men only help when they have free time. However, the miracle of Japan lies in the quiet but resilient nature of women. More and more women refuse to get married because they do not want to become unpaid maids in a traditional marriage. Instead, they invest in their careers, travel, learn foreign languages, or live a more independent life than their mothers and grandmothers. Others choose to marry foreigners, not because of financial means, but because they want a more equal relationship. Meanwhile, many Japanese men fall into the trend of herbivore men. That is, men who do not want to pursue love, do not want to compete, and just want to live comfortably with part-time jobs. This has led to a widening gap in expectations between the sexes. Japanese women want to be more understanding, but the culture teaches men to be more reserved and to put work before family. Even in the workplace, when women strive to reach leadership positions, they still face pawahara, or power harassment from male superiors. The senpai and kohai hierarchy makes it difficult for them to be recognized. and sometimes, just because they are so good, they are considered not suitable for the company culture. Number 3. What Japan really hides behind smiles. The Japanese have long been seen as a symbol of politeness and good manners. However, the friendliness that visitors often feel is mainly seen in social situations. A slight smile or a polite bow does not always express true feelings. It often takes newcomers to Japan a long time to understand the boundary between tatame, or standardized behavior, and han, or the true thoughts behind it. In daily life, the Japanese value quiet and privacy. They enter and exit their homes very quietly, limit noise, and rarely talk to neighbors. Even within the family, expressing emotions or expressing love is not common. A survey by the National Population Institute in 2023 found that more than 45% of adults admitted that they felt disconnected from their relatives. Children are taught to be independent from a young age, and when they grow up, they often leave home to study or work and then build their own homes. This leads to many elderly people living alone in small apartments, and sometimes their neighbors only find out when they have passed away. This phenomenon is called kodokushi, or lonely death, with more than 30,000 cases each year. In Japan, privacy is considered an important value and is absolutely respected. Each person maintains clear boundaries, even between husband and wife or parents and children. This helps society operate in order, but also makes relationships between people more distant. On weekends, you can see groups of friends or families gathering to eat in the park, but there is rarely loud laughter or excitement. Even joy here is expressed in a very moderate way. It is worth noting that Japanese people do good deeds not because they want to be praised, but because they see it as their civic responsibility. Bowing, helping others, or cleaning up public places all stem from a collective consciousness, not from personal feelings. This sometimes makes some visitors think that Japanese people are cold or distant. However, in Japanese culture, kindness does not need to stem from feelings, but only needs to be in accordance with common standards. Number 4. Japan's one-of-a-kind travel experiences. Japan has turned creativity into a tourism industry and attracted millions of tourists just to discover things that no one thought of. One of the strangest tourist trends is manhole cover hunting. More than 12,000 different designs are scattered throughout the country. Each city has printed its own symbol on the manhole cover. In Tokyo, it is cherry blossoms. In Nagoya, it is the local insect, and Yamaguchi boasts the image of the classic steamship SL Yamaguchi. Many foreigners come to Japan not to see temples, but to walk around the city taking pictures of manhole covers, which have become a source of cultural pride in many places. Another strange experience is called Cat Island. In Aoshima and Tashirojima, the number of cats is many times greater than the human population, and they occupy every road, harbor, and roof. Aoshima has only about a dozen elderly people living, but there are more than 120 cats. There are no convenience stores or hotels, so visitors must bring their own food and spend the day taking photos and petting cats. On Tashirojima, people have even built cat shrines from the Edo period and cat houses for overnight guests, which leave Western visitors in awe. Even more bizarre is the Todo Toilet Museum, where visitors can see the evolution of Japanese toilets from the Edo period to the most modern smart sanitary equipment. The museum displays more than 1,000 artifacts, and especially the Toilet Bike Neo, a methane-powered motorcycle with a real toilet seat. The vehicle once traveled across Japan to promote clean technology, making Western visitors laugh at its boldness. The most attractive point is the washlet toilet experience area, where visitors can try out all the functions from seat heating to automatic deodorization. And finally, Haikyo tourism, a journey to legally explore abandoned buildings. After the economic bubble burst in the late 1980s, thousands of hotels, amusement parks, hospitals, and schools were abandoned, creating living ruins that reflect Japan's rise and fall. Western tourists are particularly fond of places like Gunkanjima Island, once a bustling coal mining area, but now reduced to crumbling concrete buildings. Japan even allows guided tours of many of its haikyo, turning them into historic open-air museums. Number 5. Japanese people are very superstitious. One of the most common is the belief that blood type determines personality. Japanese people believe that Type A is careful but worried, Type B is creative but difficult to please, Type O is strong and confident, and Type AB is mysterious and unpredictable. Many dating apps match people by blood type, and there are even consumer products specifically for each type. Some companies even consider blood type when recruiting, believing that some types are better suited to detailed work or leadership roles. Japan's spiritual market is also surprisingly large. The in-person and online fortune-telling industry is worth nearly 100 billion yen a year. But if you include the broader spiritual market of feng shui, healing, and self-help books, the figure exceeds 4 trillion yen. Customers are mainly women in their 30s to 50s, and most seek advice on love and relationships. Fortune-telling has emerged on television, in shopping malls, and on social media as a powerful marketing tool for brands. Superstition has even affected architecture. The Japanese avoid the number 4 because it sounds like the word for death, leading many hospitals and apartment buildings to completely abandon the 4th floor or change their names to 3A or F. Apartments numbered 404 or 414 are often harder to sell and are cheaper because of the fear of bad luck, a consequence that foreign architects working in Japan have had to adapt to. However, the strongest example of the influence of superstition is the Year of the Fire Horse, 1966. The Japanese believe that girls born in this year will be fierce and bring misfortune to their families. The birth rate dropped by more than 25%, equivalent to hundreds of thousands of children not being born. The Japanese population chart still shows the clear abyss of 1966. The belief in yakudoshi, or unlucky years, also dominates the lives of millions. Men must be wary of the ages of 25, 42, and 61, while women worry most about the ages of 19, 33, and 37. Japanese people visit shrines to pray for safety, buy omamori charms, and avoid major changes this year. The traditional way of calculating age also means that newborns are considered 1 year old at birth and 2 at the beginning of the new year, which often surprises visitors. Number 6. The truth behind Japan's power. Throughout its history, Japan was one of the few Asian countries that never fell under total foreign rule. For centuries, the country maintained a closed policy toward the outside world and almost completely cut off from international trade. Everything changed in 1853 when U.S. Admiral Matthew Perry's fleet appeared off the coast of Edo and forced Japan to open up to trade. That event became the catalyst for the Meiji Restoration, which transformed Japan at an astonishing pace from an agrarian feudal society to an industrial and military power. By 1905, the defeat of the Russian Empire made Japan the first Asian nation to defeat a European power, shaking the global balance of power. By the early 20th century, Japan had emerged as the only Asian nation capable of competing on equal terms with the West. The Japanese Empire then expanded its control from Korea and Taiwan to many parts of Southeast Asia and a large part of China. However, this expansion left behind extremely heavy consequences. The 1945 famine in Vietnam killed about 2 million people. Tens of thousands of Korean women were forced into the comfort women system, and the 1937 Nanjing massacre caused the deaths of more than 300,000 Chinese civilians. Despite the trauma of the past, Japan today has chosen to face it rather than hide it. Since the 1990s, the Japanese government has officially acknowledged its responsibility for the comfort women system and apologized to the victims. In 1995, the Asian Women's Fund was established and supported more than 300 people in Korea, the Philippines, and Taiwan, each receiving $15,000 and a letter of apology from the Prime Minister. In the 1965 Japan-Korea Treaty, Tokyo also provided $800 million in aid to help rebuild the economy. For Vietnam, Japan has been the largest bilateral ODA provider in the past 30 years, contributing significantly to the industrialization and infrastructure development process. Although there are still controversies and not all countries are satisfied, it is undeniable that Japan is one of the few Asian countries that dares to openly acknowledge the past and seek to overcome it with practical actions. Number 7. Unique jobs that only exist in Japan. Japan has created a unique work ecosystem that Westerners can only describe as unbelievable. One of the oldest is Nakodo, or professional matchmaker. Unlike dating apps, Nakodo analyzes the client's family background, income, education, and even medical records from generations. Omiai, or matchmaking with an intermediary, still accounts for about 30% of marriages in Japan. Nakodo not only arranges meetings but also monitors the relationship and mediates when necessary. Despite rapid changes in modern society, this traditional matchmaking system persists because it is seen as a way to ensure long-term stability. Equally unique is shizai daiko, or apology services for hire. In a culture where apologies are considered an important ritual, with bows required at the right length and language required, many people choose to hire a professional to apologize rather than face it themselves. Apology agents are trained to adjust their tone of voice, level of honorifics, and even facial expressions appropriately. They help de-escalate conflict and are seen as a sensible solution in a society that values saving face. In the railway industry, shisa kanko are a signature symbol. Employees point and call out each step in a process to reduce errors by 85%. This method combines physical actions with words to increase concentration. It is so effective that New York has adopted it. In Japan, pointing and calling has become a standard of safety culture. Another curious profession is ikemen namida fuki, or professional handsome men wiping tears. Workshops are held where customers watch sad movies and are guided through their emotions. The handsome men gently wipe away each person's tears. In a society where men are less likely to express their emotions, this service industry offers a crying space and is used by many companies as a stress relief measure for employees. Finally, there is the mimikaki-shi profession, the professional ear-cleaning artist. The customer lies with their head on the lap of the attendant in the hizamakura position, an act of intimacy in Japanese culture. The process includes massage, ear hair trimming, ear cleaning with a bamboo tool, and meticulous ear care for nearly an hour. The service exists because ear cleaning used to be an act of affection within the family, and Japan has turned it into a uniquely relaxing experience. Number 8. Strange things only found in Japan. One of the most typical phenomena is inamuri, or sleeping while still present. Japanese people can fall asleep in meetings, on the train, in class, or even in the National Assembly. But instead of being criticized, they are seen as people who work hard to the point of exhaustion. Inamuri is not real sleep, but a way to show that you are dedicating yourself to the group. However, it has strict rules: no lying down, no deep sleep, and must maintain a posture that shows you are still ready to work. Japanese cuisine also has a perverse rule that makes first-time visitors feel embarrassed. Slurping loudly while eating hot noodles is a behavior that is praised, not hated. When you slurp your noodles, the cold air cools the noodles and releases their aroma, making eating ramen or soba a more fulfilling experience. More importantly, the zuru-zuru sound is a compliment to the chef. If the noodle shop is too quiet, the cook might think the food is bad. Japan also surprises in an area where tourists think there is a universal rule: tipping. In the US, not leaving a tip can get you in trouble. But in Japan, trying to tip is an insult. Waiters will run after you to return it because they think you forgot it. The Japanese believe that service is included in the price, and doing a good job is a source of pride, not something to be rewarded separately. Even exceptions like private guides require tips to be placed in a sealed envelope. Handing money directly with your bare hands is considered tactless. One habit that is even more confusing to Westerners is wearing a mask when completely healthy. Before COVID, Japanese people wore masks every day for a variety of reasons: to avoid infecting others, to reduce pollen allergies, to cover their faces when not wearing makeup, or simply to create social distance to avoid communication. For young people, masks are also a fashion accessory. In schools, students are required to wear masks when serving lunch to their friends to ensure hygiene. For Japanese people, wearing a mask is a symbol of community responsibility, not a sign of illness. Another symbol of Japanese culture is white gloves. You will see them everywhere: taxi drivers, train station staff, traffic police, delivery staff, even politicians on the campaign trail. White gloves symbolize purity, professionalism, and a level of respect for customers. They create polite boundaries in professions that involve touching other people and help reinforce the image of absolute cleanliness of Japanese service. Number 9. The curse. Japan still fears today. Near the Nasu Hot Springs in Tochigi Prefecture, there is a strange place that the Japanese call by the most terrifying name, Killer Rock, or Seshoseki. Amidst the faint smell of sulfur, the rock lies alone in the hot air that blows up all year round. The path leading up the hillside is carefully paved with stone and has clear warning signs asking visitors not to touch the surface of the rock. When approaching, one will see a dark rock standing out against the pale white ground, creating a scene that is both wild and chilling. Legend has it that inside the rock is sealed the spirit of Tamamo no Mae, the seductive nine-tailed fox who once disguised herself as a young woman to charm the emperor. After being destroyed, it turned into stone and left a curse that anyone who touches it will be in trouble. What made Seisho Seki the center of attention was an event in March 2022, when the rock suddenly split in two without any obvious vibration or impact. Scientists believe that this phenomenon is likely related to thermal expansion or rainwater seeping into small cracks. However, the crack is so neat that many people find it difficult to convince. Local people recount that a few days before the rock split, animals living around the area suddenly disappeared, adding to the mystery. On social media, many joked that the fox escaped, making Seisho Seki an instant hot topic nationwide. Although there is no definitive explanation, the Japanese see this place as proof that there are things that should be silently observed rather than tried to explain. About 300 kilometers away, in Kyoto, Zuiho-in Temple in the Daitokuji complex hides a completely different mystery. The temple's Zen garden is almost minimalist, with only white sand and a few delicately arranged rocks. However, the phenomenon that confuses visitors is that the soccer ball often tilts in a direction that does not coincide with the position of the sun. Even at noon, the ball does not fall straight as expected. Some researchers believe that this is the effect of light being reflected from the wall or the sand. However, photos taken at the same time give different results. There is also an opinion that this garden is designed according to the spirit of impermanence in Zen Buddhism, where imperfection is the ultimate beauty. Today, Zuiho-in is still open to visitors, not only to admire the strange phenomenon, but also for each person to contemplate the fragile boundary between light, nature, and their own feelings. Number 10. Nightlife in Japan. When the last train of the day leaves the station, Japan enters a completely different rhythm. Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, or Fukuoka seem to change their appearance, where neon lights, vending machine sounds, and music from small bars blend together to create a unique symphony of Japanese nightlife. This is not just a time to rest, but a second hour of life, a moment when Japanese people allow themselves to relax and live in accordance with their emotions. Whether clinking glasses of sake in an izakaya or strolling through lantern-lined alleys, they still find connection through rare moments of silence. Night culture in Japan is made up of many layers of subtle experiences. Karaoke operates 24 hours a day and has become a familiar stress reliever for office workers. Theme bars, from anime, old whiskey to classic jazz, give each neighborhood its own identity. Shibuya and Roppongi are the centers of Tokyo's nightlife, where parties last until dawn. Meanwhile, Kyoto or Kanazawa are attractive for traditional art performances, such as no plays, koto music, or Zen-inspired light shows. The two spirits, modern and traditional, blend together to create a very unique Japanese night picture. Walking between Japanese cities at night is always a memorable experience. Brightly lit signs, train sounds, and the aroma of grilled yakitori combine to create the feeling of stepping into an urban movie. In Kyoto, when the Gion lanterns are lit, the moment of encountering geisha or maiko in kimono makes many visitors feel as if time has slowed down. Meanwhile, in Tokyo, places like Harajuku, Ikebukuro, or Akihabara remain bustling until late at night, but still maintain a characteristic order, reflecting the discipline and sense of community of the Japanese people. For those who are passionate about photography, Japanese night is a paradise of light. Shinjuku, with its dense network of lights, Fushimi Inari reflected in the red lanterns, or the image of Tokyo Skytree shining in the night sky, all create unforgettable frames. During festival seasons such as Hanami or Tanabata, the entire city is lit up, turning the urban space into a stage where light, people, and sound blend together to tell the unique story of the Japanese night. Number 11. Tourist attractions in Japan. Fushimi Inari in Kyoto has long been considered one of Japan's most sacred and iconic shrines. More than 10,000 red torii gates stretch along the mountainside, creating tunnel-like paths winding through the trees. Each gate was donated by residents or businesses to pray for good luck and prosperity, so the entire space is both religious and like an outdoor work of art. As the sun rises, soft light shines through each gate, creating a magical scene. The 2-hour hike to the top of the mountain feels both challenging and tranquil, amid the distant sound of temple bells and the wind blowing through the foliage. Not far from Kyoto, the Kawaguchi Lake area and Mount Fuji create a natural picture typical of Japan. The calm lake reflects the snow-capped mountain peak all year round, creating a beauty that is considered perfect in the eyes of many visitors. When spring comes, cherry blossoms bloom around the lake, covering the landscape in pink and white. Visitors often cycle around the lake, kayak or relax in the lakeside hot springs to fully admire the majesty of Fuji. Going south, Okinawa opens up a completely different world. This archipelago is considered a tropical version of Japan thanks to its clear blue sea and brilliant coral reefs. Beaches such as Ishigaki, Maeda, or Emerald have been ranked among the most beautiful in Asia many times. This place is suitable for snorkeling, swimming with tropical fish, or SUP when the sunset falls. Ryukyu culture, expressed through cuisine, architecture, and Asa dance, gives Okinawa a distinct identity, located between the intersection of Japan and Southeast Asia. If you are looking for a unique yet intimate experience, Jigokudani Valley offers an unforgettable image. In winter, snow monkeys leisurely soak in the hot springs, their eyes half closed as if enjoying a natural spa. This scene can only be found in Japan, where people and nature seem to blend together. From January to March, the steam rising from the stream blends with the white snow, creating a magical and peaceful atmosphere. In addition to observing the snow monkeys, visitors can stroll in the forest, feel the sound of falling snow and the slight cold on their faces, an experience that is very typical of the land of the rising sun. Number 12. Irresistible dishes in Japan. The journey to learn about Japanese cuisine often begins with sushi, a dish that represents simplicity and respect for ingredients. The Japanese cook rice to the right consistency, mix rice vinegar with a little salt and sugar, and combine it with fresh seafood such as salmon, tuna, shrimp, or octopus. When lightly dipped in soy sauce and adding a little wasabi, the flavors blend harmoniously. For the Japanese, a standard piece of sushi must have enough freshness, balance, and the skillful hands of the chef. In complete contrast to the sophistication of sushi is shirako, a dish that lies between curiosity and challenge. Although its name means white child, it is actually the testicles of male fish, most commonly found in cod or pufferfish. When steamed, grilled, or fried, shirako has a creamy softness and a characteristic fatty taste. Considered rich in nutrients and omega-3, but for Western visitors, enjoying this dish requires a lot of courage. Ramen has a different flavor and has become an iconic dish of Japanese popular culture. The broth is simmered for hours from pork bones, chicken, or dried fish, combined with chewy yellow noodles to create the unique personality of each region. Hakata is famous for its rich tonkotsu ramen, Tokyo favors a light shoyu flavor, and Sapporo stands out for its rich miso ramen. When eaten with a soft-boiled egg, soft chashu meat, and green onions, ramen becomes a simple dish but contains cultural depth. The end of the taste journey is takoyaki, a typical street food of Osaka. Wheat flour is mixed with dashi broth and poured into a round mold. Inside is a light crispy octopus, red ginger, and green onions. When the cake is cooked, the seller covers it with mayonnaise, takoyaki sauce, and sprinkles of dried bonito flakes. The light crispy shell on the outside, the soft hot filling on the inside, and the spreading aroma make takoyaki an indispensable dish of Japan. Number 13. The most beautiful festivals in Japan. The Japanese New Year always begins with Hanami, a cherry blossom viewing festival that has long been considered a spiritual symbol. From late March to early April, famous spots such as Ueno Park in Tokyo, Maruyama in Kyoto, or the banks of the Meguro River are dyed pink with flowers. Millions of people spread picnic mats, toasted sake, and sang songs under the gently falling cherry blossoms. For the Japanese, the moment the petals fall reminds them of the fragility and brevity of life. When summer comes, Kyoto lights up with Gion Matsuri, one of Japan's biggest festivals. Throughout July, 25-meter-high wooden floats covered in silk and lanterns are paraded through the old town. The highlight of the festival is Yamaboko Junko, where hundreds of people dressed in traditional costumes pull heavy floats to the resounding sound of taiko drums. Originating in the 9th century as a prayer for peace, Gion Matsuri is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Also in summer, Tokyo's skies light up during the Sumida Fireworks Festival. The event takes place in late July and attracts over 1 million spectators each year. Thousands of fireworks explode in the sky and are reflected off the Sumida River, creating a sparkling spectacle. The Japanese call it the art of the moment, where each firework carries a wish for peace and good fortune. In autumn, Osaka celebrates the Kishiwada Danjiri Festival with an exciting and dramatic atmosphere. In September, wooden carts weighing several tons are pulled at high speed by local youths through the narrow streets. One wrong turn can be dangerous, but that is what makes this festival a symbol of courage, solidarity, and community pride. In winter, Hokkaido's Sapporo Snow Festival transforms Odori Park into a shimmering world of ice and snow. Hundreds of ice sculptures are shaped into castles, temples, or famous anime characters, many of which are over 15 meters tall and are illuminated all night long. Visitors can ski, enjoy hot miso ramen, and watch fireworks against the white sky. The festival not only honors the beauty of winter, but also demonstrates the creativity and resilience of the people of northern Japan. Number 14. Things tourists should know. Although Japan is often ranked among the safest countries in the world, crowded tourist areas can still pose risks. Some people may pose as friendly locals, inviting customers into familiar restaurants or bars and then charging many times the bill. To avoid getting into an unpleasant situation, visitors should read online reviews before entering and prioritize places with clear information. If someone offers too much, just smile and walk away. In terms of personal security, the crime rate in Japan is very low, but not zero. Minor thefts, harassment on trains, and scams at night still occur, especially in bustling areas such as Shinjuku, Kabukicho in Tokyo, or Dotonbori in Osaka. Avoid walking alone in dark alleys, do not use your phone when crossing the street, and always keep your belongings in a secure bag. When paying, visitors should also note that not all stores in Japan accept international cards. Many small shops only accept cash, and sometimes there are fake card machines that steal information. The safest way is to withdraw money from 7-Eleven, Lawson, or Family Mart ATMs, as these systems support many types of international cards. When possible, use contactless payment methods such as Suica, Pasmo, or IC cards. Japan has quite distinct seasonal climate changes. In spring and autumn, the temperature difference between day and night is often up to 10 degrees Celsius, causing many visitors to catch a cold due to subjectivity. When traveling at night in Kyoto or mountainous areas like Hakone, it is best to bring a light jacket, warm water, and some common cold and allergy medicine. In case of emergency, the rescue number in Japan is 119, but not all hospitals have English-speaking doctors. Save the addresses of international medical centers such as Tokyo Medical and Surgical Clinic or Osaka Red Cross. Also, download a translation app such as Google Translate or TripLingo to help with communication when needed. Being well prepared before your trip will help you stay calm and handle any unexpected situations well. Number 15. Living cost in Japan. If you plan to live in Japan long-term, whether for study, work, or leisure, it is essential to understand the cost of living. Tokyo is Japan's largest economic center and is also among the most expensive cities in Asia. Rents for a one-bedroom apartment in the central area typically range from $800 to whopping $200 per month, but moving to the suburbs within a 20-30-minute train ride can cut costs by almost half. Cities like Kyoto, Nagoya, or Fukuoka are more affordable, ranging from $400 to $600 per month, and are great for those who want to live quietly or work remotely. Japan's public transportation system is highly regarded for its accuracy and convenience. Train fares in the city range from $1 to $2.50 per ride, while monthly passes, depending on the route, range from $70 to $120. The Shinkansen is more expensive, but is still a popular choice for inter-regional travel. Taxis are convenient but expensive, typically costing between $6 and $12 for short distances and with surcharges at night. Therefore, many people choose bicycles as an economical and environmentally friendly option. Food costs in Japan are quite flexible, depending on each person's habits. If you cook for yourself, you will spend around $250 to $350 per month when buying food at large supermarkets such as Aeon, Life, or Seiyu. A bento box at a convenience store costs only $3 to $5, while ramen or cheap rice shops usually cost $4 to $7. If you eat at a mid-range restaurant, you should prepare around $10 to $20 per meal. Electricity, water, and gas bills are usually between $70 and $100 per month, while high-speed internet costs $30 to $45. Some apartments will charge an additional management or garbage collection fee of 10 to 30 USD. Japan also applies a very detailed garbage classification system, so foreigners should pay attention to the collection date, bag color, and how to separate the types to avoid violations. The average total cost for a single person in Japan is between $1,000 and $1,500 USD per month. If you spend frugally, you can maintain a stable standard of living with about $800 USD. But if you often travel, eat out, or participate in cultural activities such as watching kabuki or bathing in onsen, the total monthly cost can exceed $1,800 USD. And those are 15 interesting facts about Japan. Hopefully, the information just provided has given you a fresh new perspective on the land of the rising sun. If you find the video helpful, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to join us on our next exploration journeys. Of these 15 facts, which one impresses you the most? Please leave a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts.